Well, greetings and welcome to another episode of Missouri Minute. I am out here on Lake Oahe. I'm pretty much in the middle of the lake, and I'm stuck on some clay. I'd show you the clay, but you wouldn't be able to see it anyways because the water is kind of muddy here. Muddy. This area of the lake is severely shallow. In fact, it doesn't look like I can paddle through this section of the lake because there's just not enough water to do it. I'm going to show you that right now. The water between the power lines doesn't look like it's enough to float this boat through it. I can see seagulls standing out there, which is never a good sign. Now there's two boat ramps off to my right, and apparently about 1.5 miles past where I'm at, there's another boat ramp on the left side. And there's a little community down there called Beaver Creek, and they have a campground there. Now, I just passed a very crude boat ramp about 1 mile ago on the left side, and I've been sticking with the left side as I've been going down the lake here. This river mile here would be about 12:59, I think, 12:58, something like that. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to tackle this yet. I'm hoping that this clay, it seems pretty solid here, and hopefully it stays solid because this area along the shoreline is very muddy. If that's the case, I might be able to just pull the boat through here, try and float it as much as I can, and then just pull it over the shallows. That's going to be really tough. Now if the mud is bad, I'm kind of anticipating that it is, I could be up to my knees in it or more. I really don't want to get out of the boat and test that out, but it's really come down to this shallow point where it's come in from both sides, and there's really nothing in front of me here. It's just, the lake is pretty much dried up. It's kind of sad. Off to my right is an area of dead willows, and it's pretty thick. I'm not going to be able to get into that. Right over there. So although there's water there, excuse me, I won't be able to paddle through that just because it's just too thick to go through that. So it looks like the only way through is just to stay dead in the middle of this lake, in between these power lines that are on supports as well. They've actually built supports for the water line, and they're very evident. Find a channel of some kind with as much water as I can find to float the boat and make this as easy as possible. Now I have to go about 1.5 miles to that boat ramp. Worst case scenario, I could try to get to these boat ramps over here and pull out and try and portage around to where I can then put back in. It's really hard with the shoreline here because there's a lot of just mud, and the water's so low, everything is so far from the water right now, and there's a lot of dead willows too along the shoreline. So getting some wind from behind, which has been a nice tailwind. It's been kind of mellow the last couple hours, but it was kicking up this morning. It's kind of cool. I'm guessing maybe in the low 60s or even in the high 50s. It's been looking like rain most of the day, but it hasn't rained yet. Haven't seen a lot of activity. A couple fishermen, that's about it. Saw a guy in a truck back at this last boat ramp, and then I saw him up by a farmhouse, or or a couple barns up here. I don't know if that was his farm or what the deal is. So there is a road that leads down to that boat ramp, and that boat ramp is marked on my GPS, so it might be possible to do that. Not quite sure how to proceed here. Might just try and get out, just start walking and see if it opens up before the power lines. Might not be as bad as it looks. That other option is to go back to the boat ramp that was on the left. I know I can paddle to that and take out there, but portaging on that road doesn't look fun at all because it climbs up into the hill, and then I would imagine it drops down on another road, makes its way over to Beaver Creek. I can see the community of Beaver Creek from here. Although it's a long way off, it's probably almost 2 miles south of here. Either way, this is going to be a challenge. Here on the Missouri River, Lake Oahe.